out to them for making it as far as they did. And like I said, we're gonna be looking forward to the Final Four next week, man. But in the meantime, we're gonna get back. We're gonna get back on track. Somebody got to.
Big A, who you got, man? Who you got winning the Final Four?
We're gonna get back into that because we gotta get back to the nitty of the gritty of what we really came here to talk about, and we gotta get on this recruiting track right now, man.
Oh man, say man. You know what I'm saying? You know, Ann Arbor is on fire right now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you know what? Y'all continue. Give me like 5.
Okay. All right. Hello.
He's still working in the background, but yeah, like you said, this recruit trail going on, man. We got some names that's coming in. We got some 5-star, 4-star guys that we're predicted to get. One in particular, Jaden Davis. You know, of course, he just recently had his visit, made his announcement of the 5 finalists that he has in regards to who he's going to select in this upcoming the 31st, which he's going to make the decision. And the crystal ball has him going coming home, I would say, to the Michigan Wolverines and some other ones too. So Big A, man, you back, man. Can you get into it now?
Let's most definitely. Look, man, Ann Arbor is rocking right now.
Right. Before we get into that, shout out to Michigan hockey too, because they beat Penn State and they advanced on to in the hockey ranks too. So shout out to them. Go ahead, Big A.
Let's talk about that top commit right there in Jordan Marshall. Michigan went in behind enemy line. A kid who was number 1 on the Ohio State Buckeyes board, and Michigan went into Ann Arbor. And you're talking about when you think of Ohio State and all their running backs, right? They usually got to go nationally. They usually go into Texas or somewhere like that and get a running back. They never have a top running back coming in, that's out of Ohio. You know what I'm saying? So Ohio State just knew that this kid was a lockup for them. Ohio State just figured, they was going to have this guy. And we talk about Michigan went into Ohio and took a kid that was born and raised in Ohio, a top 100 running back, and is now committed to the University of Michigan. We talk about Jordan Marshall, man. Like, that shit's shockwaves. So, and of course, you got Buckeye beat, right? Oh, it ain't that big of a deal. Yes, it is that big of a deal. And if you go down Michigan recruiting rank, like you got Ted Hammond, who's another 4-star out of Ohio, who's committed to Michigan, who was born in Ohio. He put out there on the gram the other week saying the best players in Ohio go to Michigan. We had Ben Roebuck, who just committed, who said he grew up an Ohio State Buckeye fan, another one from Ohio, who said, but he realized Michigan is the choice to go. Listen, Michigan recruiting is on fire right now. This Friday coming up, we have Jaden Davis, who's going to, announce his commitment, 5-star quarterback, that's out of Charlotte. And there was a viral picture that went viral that's been going around, with Blake Frazier. He's a 4-star tackle out of Texas. He posted he put a picture out there with him, Jaden Davis, Jordan Marshall, and Brady Prescore, who's the 4-star tight end. And right now we got one out of that 4 in that picture. And then we waiting on Jaden Davis commit that's coming Friday. So, I mean, these are the dividends that we was looking to pay off. Going back to back, Big Ten championships, beating Ohio State. We don't get a kid out of Ohio who's a top 100 running back to commit to Michigan over Ohio State.
Yeah. So, with that being said, Big A, what has State been doing? Have you heard any news about the recruitment with State? Daryl, you got any news for us, man?
It ain't looking too good, man.
Yeah, we know that already. We already know that already.
It ain't looking too good.
Keep scrolling down there, King. Let's go and see where State is doing their recruit. Keep going. Can you go down a little bit further? See if we see any State going on? Because last time I checked, we've been hearing for the past 2 or 3 seasons that Tuck was coming, and no, that's basketball. We can't,
No. Go back up, King. You was right. Go where where it was the commitment, the rankings. But look, I'll give you some update on State. It ain't like I'm a State fan, but I'll most definitely give you some update. And I'm gonna make it easier for you, King. They're down there at 43, so you got a little bit
43.
slow. So by the time you get there,
There we go. There we go.
You know, halfway through my spiel. They also had a receiver who decommitted, Nick Marsh. You know, and some say he might be looking at Michigan, but State going through a little bit of turmoil. You know, they lost Brandon Jacobs, or is it Johns? Brandon Johns. Brandon Johns. You know, he went to Seattle. You know, they just lost their GM. You know, he's the guy, you know, who sets up all the recruiting things and, you know, all of that good stuff. You know,
I wasn't surprised about that. I had a feeling that was.
What about Welcher, man? You know, Welcher, man, he was a plug for the inner city, man. Down, he was a Cass Tech plug too.
Was it official that he left?
I believe so, but I'm about to check it too. But whispers was that he's gone as well.
You know, I know they brought in the coach who was also the DB's coach of the Bills for a while. But this is the thing you got to realize: State only had 16 commits last year. You know, they had a bunch of swinging and misses. You know, they was recruiting people like this from the Army. You know, they had Challengers and Chargers on the field, and you know, Range Rovers and you know, Rolls Royces. You know, they out there recruiting those guys, and you know, they only bring in 16 commits last year. You know, I know a lot of time East Lansing want to talk about Harbaugh on the hot seat. Tuck is on the hot seat. Listen, Tuck can't afford to go 0-3 against the Big Three, and you know,
Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. You
know, he's gonna have to do something. You know what I'm saying? And right now, like I say, we're losing. Brandon Johns was like, if you notice their recruiting last year was heavy, like D lines and stuff like that coming in. That had a lot to do with Brandon Johns, but he's gone now. So, you know, it ain't looking too good, man. We talking about, this is March, you know, and we about to go into April. They're a little bit behind the 8 ball. They got a lot of catching up to do, man.
Now I will say this. I would say that they did pretty well in the transfer portal, though. So that could be some help, potentially, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but even when you look at their rankings there, the only reason why they portal looked somewhat halfway decent is because they got the D-lineman from Texas A&M. But it was a lot of swinging and misses, you know, that happened for them. And it was like, they're playing a little bit behind the 8 ball, and they got to play a little catch up. And man,
we like I said, we got a lot of work to do. Like I said, I didn't know it didn't look too good. Like you said, our transfer portals wasn't bad. You know, like you said, it wasn't bad. It could have been better. We had some decommits. You know, guys that committed and decommit, which it hurted us a lot. You know, so he said, we got a long way to go. But definitely, we're gonna be there. We're gonna compete. We're gonna be better than last season. I'll tell you that much. We're gonna have to get that defense together.
We're gonna have to get that defense together. And this is literally like, you have to really see what Tuck and the team that he brought in, because you don't have none of those D'Antonio boys there. I mean, you still got Mosley still there. You know, he's part of a little downtown, but for the bulk of those guys, are gone, man. And the one guy that's going to be tough to replace was Henderson, man. Henderson was y'all Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be tough to replace, man.
Yeah,
that's gonna be tough to replace.
We got a long way to go, man. Y'all, like I said, Michigan, y'all killing us in there.
Daryl, just keep hope alive, man. You know, don't be sighing, man. Just go ahead and be like, you know what, we gonna take the North, and we gonna Tuck is gonna come, and he gonna come again.
Listen, I'm not.
Pause.
Listen, hold on. I'm being all over the place. Like Big A said, hey, I'm one of the realists when it comes to Michigan State. I'm at this point, I'm not going crazy. Until our teams show they prove, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Listen, I'm not too much worried about offense. Defense, that's the big improvement. You know,
my tale about State is gonna come when they play Washington. That's gonna tell me all I need to know about State when they play Washington. So that's
Man, Washington got to come here. They coming here.
Exactly. So that's gonna be my tell, and I think I might go to that game, man. I might draw. Big A, make sure you have my bond money ready because I might be doing control in that game. Please have my bond money ready.
You know the thing, I'll say this about State, right? I just really think they just jumped the gun too quick, right? It's like paying a man $95 million, fully guaranteed, and the only accomplishment you had was you beat Michigan in the COVID year, and then you beat Michigan twice. Like, that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, a lot of money.
And you know, I just think they really jumped the ball quick. And it was, I mean, he had them by the balls, for lack of better words, because, you know, he was flirting with LSU. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, oh, man, I gotta get there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then and then when people keep wanting to bring up, you know, Harbaugh, look, we don't play in quick lane bowls. You know what I'm saying? We don't play in, you know.
Yeah, but
those bowls. So
that record though, man,
yeah,
you got to fix that one, man.
But this is my thing. The only thing that matters is the CFP. As simple as that. You know, they got a bowl game. They got a Nintendo Switch bowl game. Ooh, you won the Nintendo Switch bowl game. Like, nobody care about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the only thing that matters is the CFP. Simple as that. And then this is the last year for the 14 thing.
And then going to the 16 playoff,
to the extended thing. So, like I said, I just, you know, what Michigan State did with Tuck, I mean, you kind of, and then to think about it, it's fully guaranteed, man. It's fully guaranteed. So you kind of stuck behind that. But like I say, you know, growing up as a Michigan fan, when you look at the success that Michigan had, you know, we always had success at recruiting in Ohio. I mean, for goodness sake, we took Charles Woodson from out of there. We took Desmond Howard from out of there. You know what I'm saying? And we are getting back to that, man. We just took a top 100 back kid growing up in Ohio, and he committed to Michigan, man. The fireworks is coming.